Hey everyone, welcome back to the Movie Studio. Today I'm here with a brand new video for you guys. I'm here with my friend Ryan, and we are going to be talking about Raya and the Last Dragon. This is the newly released Disney movie in theaters, and thanks for joining me.
Oh, it's always a pleasure being here with you, Micah. Thank you so much for having me.
Mhm. So this came out earlier this month on theaters and Disney Plus. I went to see it in theaters actually today. Um, I think going into this film, I did not exactly know. I didn't know much about it going in. I know it was all I know is that it was animated pretty much. But before you went into this film, what were your expectations?
Well, honestly, I never even saw the trailer to this. I had only seen the still photos that had been released earlier in 2020. It was like coming soon, Raya and the Last Dragon. And I'm like, wow, this actually looks quite good. And then COVID happened and
Mhm.
it didn't it got delayed and delayed and delayed.
Yeah.
So I never really saw a trailer and I really didn't know what to expect, but I figured it's Walt Disney Animation. It's at least going to be pretty good. Like that's the bare minimum.
Mhm.
And I actually quite enjoyed it. It's not perfect, but I think on the whole it was very enjoyable watch.
Mhm. So what I did like about this film mainly is that it focused on um trust was one of the morals I found, themes. I think that they touched on that when it came to the gyms and kind of like taking like the first step to solve something. I noticed those too. Is there any specific morals that you picked up for the film?
Definitely trust, and I think this might be a bit of an unpopular opinion, but I thought the trust moral was a little too heavy-handed. I think there were like four or five separate monologues about how we must trust one another and come together and all that. And hey, that I'm all for that. But by number five, I was just sitting there like, guys, seriously, we get it. Talk about something else now. And like I said, I appreciate it. I like that they tried to tell this message. I agree with it, but it's just like it's like insanity doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different result.
Hmm. Yeah, I would agree with you. But what I think that they did do a good job with is explaining like they're all like divided. That's pretty much what it kind of starts out with, and they kind of come together at the end. I've seen a lot of things that way. I did like how it was like a slower pace with those action sequences. I liked Raya and the princess, I forget her name, but like how the rivalry started at the beginning, and like the princess earned her trust throughout the film. I think the dragon thing, I think the Sisu, she was hilarious, especially at the beginning. What did you think?
I think so as well. And again, might be a bit of an unpopular opinion, but I thought Aquafina was just a tad like she was a tad overbearing at times, like exception rather than the rule. For like 90% of her screen time, she was great. But then there were these little moments that it was like she she said this one thing, and I they were in one of the places where they met the baby who is the thief. I can't remember the town's name off the top of my head, but Sisu is waiting on the boat, and she's like, it's like, oh, Raya being gone this long is giving me bad feels. And I'm like, bad feels? How very 2021 of you. Like you're a dragon. Are you gonna say something's lit next? And it just, I don't know, that kind of stuff just took me out of it. Again, I might be alone in that, but it kind of stuck out like a sore thumb because the movie did a good job of separating this as a fictional, like a different kind of else world, if you will. I liked how all the towns were named after different parts of the dragon, like Fang and Claw, or not Claw, but
Cal.
Fang and Spine, and I'm sure you all understand what I mean. I like the detail in that.
Yeah. But I think it was funny, like when she said she's been asleep for like 500 years or whatever. And just thinking about that, that's funny. I also thought her play into get the princess to give her the gem and saying like the best friends forever thing was also funny.
Yeah,
Uh,
that was very Guy Ritchie of them.
um, but as far as like uh voice acting, I think that they chose good people for it. What do you think?
I think so as well. I liked Kelly Marie Tran as Raya. I think they made a really good choice there, with the exception of her few moments of like, I don't know about that. Aquafina is actually pretty good, and I liked the rest of the cast as well. I thought everyone did a really good job.
Hmm. Um, I was of course expecting like an emotional reunion with like these people. I was expecting them to. I mean, I'm kind of glad that that they showed everyone. Maybe I was expecting the whole Raya and her paw like to be like something maybe a little bit different, but like I think that it still came out in a satisfying way. Did you think the reunion was good?
I did. I kind of, and this isn't like me trying to be like, oh, I know how movies work, but I kind of saw when he was set in stone. I'm like, well, that's the payoff. And not to say that I, not to say that in like a cynical way. I was like, even though I knew I saw it coming, I still wanted it to happen. So I knew where we were going, but I was enjoying the ride to get there, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, that makes sense. But I did think that when like Raya decided like to take the first step, and then she set herself in stone, and everyone joined her, and even the princess did. That was like a very touching moment, and overall, like to the moral of the movie, um, I think you got to take the first step to save to fix something, and yeah, and she and they and the pretty much everything was put together. I think they did a really good job with that. What do you think?
Yeah,
Mm.
absolutely.
Yeah. So I wanted to talk about a few other things. The animation was really well done. Bright action sequences were really well done. What do you did you think it was really well done quality?
Oh yeah, this is one of Disney's better looking movies, like in terms of 2D animation that I or well, this would be 3D animation. The better looking 3D animated movies that I've seen in quite a while. Say what you want about the 2010s, like Walt Disney animation, not Pixar, but Walt Disney standalone animation. It's a bit of a coin toss for me, but literally in every one of them, the animation somehow gets better and better like as the years go on. And like capitalizing off of what I said about the towns, I love the design of the towns as well. Like Heart is just like, it kind of looked like Pandora from Avatar. There, everything's green and there's like a real communion with nature. Fang was very like gold laden, and they had like this river barrier around them to protect them from the help me out here, the black things with the purple and
Yeah, I didn't exactly catch on to that, but I get what you're saying.
yeah, and Spine was all like snowy and foresty, the bamboo forest. I liked how layered everything was. It wasn't just, oh, here's a big city. Oh, here's a town on the outskirts. It's like every town you see, every piece of this world has a unique personality to it. And it kind of reminded me a lot of Avatar The Last Airbender, where no matter where you go, even if it's in a place as big as the Earth Kingdom, you can see like desert, like a desert town, or a more like next to water based town, or something along those lines. Put the period at the end of the sentence. I liked how everything looked and how everything was just melded together. This movie had personality.
Mm-hmm. Raya 2 is another film that did a really good job of layering like the town um aspects. Avatar: The Last Airbender did a good job. I like how like some films in particular do a great job of seeing that like they're like putting detail into the work that they do to make a town. Like in the towns here, like they had like so many layers to them that weren't necessarily needed, but I think that they made the film look better overall. And before the movie started, they said that like they were like talking like this commercial came up about like the different morals in the film, like trust and stuff like that. I think another thing I noticed is that the drag like the I almost felt like a spirit aspect when like the dragon's like in the water. Did you notice anything like that?
Like Spirit Stallion of the Cimarron or
No,
something
like more
else.
like holy kind of thing, like a
Oh,
symbol, like the like how they like the fish and like that, and then like the dragons.
I got to admit, when I was watching it, I didn't really pick up on that, but now that I'm thinking about it, that is kind of starting to come to me a little bit in that, yeah, I can definitely see it being like a spiritual kind of theme running throughout with the dragons.
Hmm. And like Disney and church stuff don't necessarily match up, but I think that they kind of like hinted at it in this film that maybe they'll like do more of that stuff. But yeah, I wasn't meaning anything to Spirit Stallion of the
Yeah,
Cimarron. Yeah.
gotta love Zoom. Am I right or am I right?
Um, So that was kind of like I think that we kind of touched on everything, but again, I think this film did a really good job of their morals, animation quality. I thought that I liked the idea of like divided and then coming together. I think I liked the putting the pieces of the gemstone together and how they had to work together for that. Different tribes I liked. Because I think that it's meant that they're not supposed to get along, but like they almost like want to, if that makes any sense. They almost want to put this thing together, but it's like a slow process. I think that they did a good job with this film. Now, did you think they did a good job with like the slow process of having everyone come together?
I believe so, yes. And the movie does a good job of showing that in the first, I want to say third of the movie, that the other nations are more than prepared to say, enough of this. Let's just find a coexistence. But just due to petty differences, it's like that can't happen. But they almost come close to doing it, but without giving anything away, it just doesn't happen. And so the movie does a good job of teasing you like, okay, this is actually going to happen, and then just completely blindsiding you with the twist, and then just preparing you like, okay, this might happen again. And you're like, nope, don't think so. But then when it does happen, you're like, oh wow, that's great.
Hmm. I liked how the dragons. I did like how they had like a more like rule as well. But I think that this film, we need more films like this. Disney did a great job with it. A film that I personally been waiting for a while. I mean, of course, COVID happened, so nothing could really come out in 2020 besides Soul and Wonder Woman 1984. Um, I think that this movie, again, I think they did a really good job. Only thing I mean, I would agree with you. Your points on the whole trust moral might be over exaggerated a little bit. But I think that they still did a good job with the explaining like the morals, like taking the first step into something to make everything become better as a whole and how it worked. I thought it was very touching. Like I was like almost like that very touching moment when they all decided to set themselves in stone and they just waited and then everything came and everything worked. Did that specific moment mean something to you?
Well, to first capitalize on what you were saying, uh, the points that I made where I was like, I don't know about that. Those were like nitpicks. Like those weren't like deal breakers for me. I could still happily watch this movie again and still enjoy it just as much. It was just things that kind of stuck out to me as like okay, that was a weird flex, but okay, let's see where they take it. Though, so that they're not problems. They're just kind of things where I was like, I don't know about that. But that again, that's just like splitting hairs. But as far as moment goes, uh, there are many, but I think my favorites, I think I'd have to go with the moment when Shishen reunites with the rest of the dragons, because you hear this buildup of the dragons and their individual personalities and their powers, and it's like you'd love to meet them, and then by the end it actually happens. So there was a great buildup and then finally a payoff, and it's just great stuff.
I think that was a very happy moment. I wasn't expecting them to go that far, but I think that, I think that she came a long way from like us first meeting her and then at the end, and then you feel happy for her once again because she hasn't like really had anyone for a while because she's been asleep for like 500 years or whatever, and now she's like come back to life, and now she has her now she has her like siblings with her, and I think that I did really enjoy that moment. So anything else you want to say about this film before we close?
If you can see it in the theaters, I do highly recommend it. Use your common sense, be aware of COVID and all of that. But if you can see it in theaters, I do highly recommend that you do. Because this isn't a commentary on Disney Plus or anything, but this is not a movie that I would pay $30 just to see, you know, just at home. Maybe if they released it like say 2 weeks before its scheduled release and like see it early kind of thing, then maybe I'd consider it. But the, I don't think this is necessarily worth $30. But again, that's just me, and I'm not saying risk COVID if you can help it, but just if you can, go see it in the theater.
Mhm. Theaters, obviously, in my opinion, unfortunately, it seems like things are moving more towards a streaming platform, which has its pros and cons. I
Mm-hmm.
think enjoy this one while it lasts, because you never know what it's gonna happen with the transition between from theaters to streaming and when it's gonna happen. But like I think this one is fun to go see in theaters, and like you walk out with like a very powerful message. And I feel like I mean, most people haven't really gone and they have to like stick to Disney Plus, but I don't think there's any sense paying $30 for it, along with your subscription already to Disney Plus. You might as well just go see it in theaters and where you can get the food and drinks that you want and also enjoy the morals that really come to this film.
Yeah,
Um,
for $7.99, you get the like for like the price of one movie ticket nowadays. You could get like all of Disney's back catalog. So it's not really worth it. It's just a gimmick.
yeah, but nonetheless, not like we're not talking bad about Disney Plus or anything, but theaters, I think, is the direction that you would want to go in if you want to see this film.
Hmm.
Um, So, anyways, thanks for joining me. I'll leave your channel in the description down below. You do a lot of reviewing older films typically, and I know that you do. You kind of follow along Rachel Wagner's movie schedule. I see that. Why don't you explain your channel a little bit before we close off?
Sure. So over on my channel, I have a couple of main series going. The main one is the AFI project, where I've been reviewing every movie on AFI's top 100 movies of all time list. I'm approaching number 70, which I believe is Raiders of the Lost Ark. My math may be slightly off on that, but I've covered everything up to Raiders of the Lost Ark, and that video is currently in the works. Every Sunday, I've been releasing a different type of not a video essay, but like a different kind of video talking about a movie or a TV show that I really like. Like for example, the video next Sunday or this coming Sunday, I'm going to be posting my first reaction to the Studio Ghibli film Porco Rosso, and I've been working my way through the other Ghibli films, and I've worked my way up to Porco Rosso, and so that's coming this upcoming Sunday. And I've got other series like old series like the Twilight Zone vlogs coming back, and just other things in the fire. So if you all haven't checked me out, please do. I put a lot of time and effort into the channel, and I'm very happy with where it is and where it's going to go.
Yeah. And also you could follow our friend Rachel's channel down below, and she does a lot of things like ours, a lot of different movie reviews. So anyways, I want to thank everyone for watching my studio. Ryan, thanks for joining me. Like, comment, subscribe, turn on your post notifications so you never miss a video. Thanks everyone for watching, and bye.
Bye.